Lesson 5-9, Writing Decimals as Fractions, and in this lesson you learn to express terminating decimals as fractions in simplest form. When am I ever going to use this? Decimals and fractions are used interchangeably in situations where weight and length are measured. Okay, a term we are going to learn today is what is a terminating decimal. Okay. Let's take a look at this example in chemistry. The periodic table gives a symbol named atomic number and atomic mass of each element. The atomic mass of lead is Pb. Lead, which has symbols Pb, is 207.2. The number 207.2 is an example of a terminating decimal. Terminating decimals can be written as fractions with denominators of 10, 100, 1000, and so on. So for example, 207.2 can be written as a mixed number of 207 and 2/10 or 207 and 1/5 in simplest form. Okay, so when you talk about a terminating decimal, terminating decimals can be written with denominators of 10, 100, and 1000, and so on. Okay, that's how you determine if it's a terminating decimal or not. Okay, that's how you write your terminating decimal with the denominators 10, 100, 1000, and so on and so forth. Let's take a look at some examples. Let's take a look at example number 1. Express each decimal as a fraction or mixed number in simplest form. Okay, 0.8. Okay, we want to express this as a fraction, and we know that 8 is in the tenths place. Therefore, this becomes 8 over 10. Okay, or 8/10. Okay, and we simplify this. Okay, by using prime factorization. So this now becomes 2 times 2 times 2, and this is 2 times 5. Okay, and this is common to both. Make it 1, and what's left would be 4 over 5. Remember, the GCF is 2, so we can also do this by dividing both the numerator and denominator by 2. So 8 divided by 2 is 4, 10 divided by 2 is 5. We still end up with 4/5. Okay? In the example number 2, 0.28. Okay, 8 is in the hundredths place. So therefore this becomes 28 over 100. And then we want to simplify this again using what we learned. Okay. In simplifying fractions, we either use prime factorization or find the GCF, and the GCF in this case is 4. Okay, why is that? Because if we write that again, 28 over 100, 28 is 2 times 2 times 7, prime factorization. 100 is 2 times 2 times 5 times 5. Okay, this cancels. That's a 1, that's a 1, that's a 1, that's a 1. So 1 times 1 times 7 is 7, and 1 times 5 times 5 is 25, because the GCF is what we cancel, which is 4, and that's why you can cross cancel. 28 divided by 4 is 7, 100 divided by 4 is 25. Simplest form is 7 over 25. 15 and 0.125. Okay, 5 is in the thousands place, so this is 15 and 125 over 1,000. Okay, which means that the GCF would be 125. How do we know this? Again, using prime factorization of 125 over 1,000. 125 prime factors are 1, 5 times 5 times 5. Prime factors of 1,000. Okay, a little bit of a tip: when you get the prime factors of 10, it's 2 times 5. When you get the prime factors of 100, it's 2 times 2 times 5 times 5. If you notice, the number of zeros will determine the number of 2's, and the number of 5's you will have as its prime factor. So 100 has 2 zeros, 2 2's, and 2 5's. 10 has 1 0, 1 2, and 1 5. 1,000 has 3 zeros. This is 2 times 2 times 2 times 5 times 5 times 5. So that's a shortcut method of finding prime factorization of 1,000. And then we simply cross cancel now. That's a 5 and a 5, that's a 1. This 5 cancels out, that's a 1. And that 5 cancels out, that's a 1. So what's left? 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 times 2 times 1 times 1 times 1 is 8. And that's how you got 1/8 right there. Okay? So 15 and 1/8 would be your simplest form. Last example, example number 4. The F-16 Fighting Falcon can reach a maximum speed of a Mach 2.05 or 1,320 miles per hour. Express its Mach speed as a mixed number in simplest form. So we want to express this as a mixed number in simplest form. Again, 5 is in the hundreds place, so this becomes 2 and 5 hundredths. Okay, and then we simplify that. That's a 1, that's a 20. Again, using prime factorization, we have what? 2 and 1 over 20. So the Mach speed can be expressed as 2 and 1 over 20. Okay? And that's our lesson, boys and girls. Thanks for watching.